treat others as you would like to be treated. And then when the lecturer is asking a question, take no more than 2 minutes to answer so we can keep the flow going. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Eileen. I appreciate it. All right, so are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. So, guys, imagine that if we decide to build a house, what do we need to build a house?
Foundation.
Foundation, very good. What else do we need to build a house?
Blueprints. Tools.
Tools, what else? Materials, what else?
Blueprints.
Blueprints, very good. What else?
Team. People.
Team, people, what else?
Good weather.
Good weather for sure, right? What else? Do you already see how much we already need to just build a house? Because in order to build a house, we cannot just buy bricks and cement and start putting them on top of each other. Will the house work if we do that? No, but we are trying to build a relationship like that. We don't know the rules, we don't have a formula, and we're just trying to make a relationship work. And guys, that's why 90% of the relationships fail. 50% of the divorce rate, the statistics don't lie, in the United States. By the way, on the TED Talks 2 months ago, one counselor said that in 2020, in United States, 80% of the marriages failed. So last year, in the COVID, 80% of the marriages were failing. And so this number is crazy. By the way, Russians also beating up. In Russia, the divorce rate is at 80%. Because people don't have formula. They don't have a blueprint. Now, I am not telling you that my blueprint or my formula is the best. But it worked for me. It worked for some of my clients who were dealing with relationship and coming for me to help them with the relationship. So it's been tested, okay? And some of people who heard my lectures are telling me, Alisa, this is an old school, or it's a medieval time, your relationship guidelines. Some people are saying that no, relationship shouldn't be so complicated and have those old school rules. But again, I'll tell you, it's better to have traditional, old school, or whatever, medieval formula or rules than no rules at all. Do you get it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, imagine also how people go by in a relationship is that, again, they don't have a blueprint, they don't have a formula. It's like not having a driver license. And they drive in Atlanta downtown without a driver license. And how far can you go if you don't know how to drive? How far? You're probably gonna hit the accident on the second stoplight. And then you're not gonna say, okay, what am I learning from this accident that's gonna help me in my next car? But people in a relationship are almost going like that, blindly, thinking that it's gonna work. You guys are so quiet, I need your interaction. Because I feel like, and I get that there's so much technology here, but people listen 3 ways. One way is imagine that there's a soccer field and you're playing the soccer and passing the ball. And the soccer is passing through one player to another. The second way to listen, you're in a stadium and you listen, hey, pass the ball to this guy. No, pass it to another. Come on, you move so slow. This is the second way to listen. And the third, you're behind the TV and all of the soccer players moving so slow. It's like, oh my God, why are you so slow? Why didn't you pass it to this guy, number 17? So right now, it feels like you guys are behind the TV. And I need you to come to play in the soccer field, okay? I even feel like maybe the sofa needs to be moved a little bit closer because you're so far and I'm like behind the glass here sitting. I need your interaction. Move close, I'm serious. Because I feel like I'm here alone entertaining you. It's not working. Like I'm a clown and I need to dance for you to start joining, so move closer.
said something because I was feeling that way too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I'm
you
like,
were-
oh,
you're right.
you guys are so fun. Hello.
We're so disconnected.
Yeah, and by the way, if there's more room here on the sofa, better come closer,
yeah.
right? So otherwise you guys are way too far. Awesome.
There was
Thank
a moment
you.
I want to say amen.
Amen, right? I'm not preaching, it's a master class. It's going to be very, very interactive. So, by the way, who wants to share? How do you guys feel? Do you feel like you have a blueprint? Do you have a formula in the relationship, or you go by blindly, like what I was describing? Who wants to share? Who feels like that? So we can get this going. Come on, Alisa. Thank you.
Well, for me, for example, I come from a broken home. My parents were divorced by the time I was 8, and it was like War of the Roses. So I never had a good what do I call it? I never had a good representation of how women and men are supposed to have a successful relationship, how we're supposed to interact. My mother never got remarried. It was what it was. So. I feel like for me, I'm just trying to figure it out as I go and trying not to make the same mistakes that maybe my parents made. And also, I have some friends who are successfully married, some friends who have been divorced, so I'm trying to also learn from that experience. But definitely don't have a blueprint. Definitely think it would be nice to have something to reflect on and something to look at when I'm going through certain experiences, I guess, in my relationship. So
Thank you. Thank you, Anahita. Right. And by the way, we have a lot of examples in life, and this is what you were referring to. You have examples by your friends, you have examples by your relatives, and a lot of those examples are not empowering examples. You're like, oh, this relationship failed, this relationship failed, marriage ended. Then you look at the relatives, you look at the parents, and then you don't have an example. Not that you don't even have a blueprint, but you also don't have a real example. So thank you, Anahita, for sharing that. By the way, like I said, it's better to have a bad formula than no formula. It's better to have a driver license that you hardly passed than not having a driver license. So you guys are clear about that you need to have a formula. And again, sometimes people tell me, Alisa, I followed by everything you said and it still didn't work. Well, don't make me responsible for your relationship and your marriage. I am not telling you to do exactly like I'm saying, because you're not me, I am not you, and I'm not there to watch exactly what you're doing. So take something that you don't know and put it into your philosophy. Make your own philosophy and blueprint that works for you. But some of you, again, don't have any blueprints. And that's what today we're gonna go over, okay? All right. And also, for example, who, by the way, likes doctors in the United States? Not many people. By the way, I'm the same way. I don't really like doctors in the United States, even though we say, oh, it's the best in medical care. But when I go to doctors, if I have a flu, they immediately give me steroids or antibiotics. And I am against those chemicals putting it in my body. But at the same time, if we'll take Somalia or Afghanistan or Tanzania or Kenya in the country, would you say that rather to have this medical system in the United States than living in Somalia and not having any medical system at all? So at the same time, that's what I'm trying to refer. It's better to have a bad formula, a bad medical system, than no medical system at all. Clear? Oh, and we have more people. Fantastic. All right. So now I'm gonna say something outside of the box, but you might not like it. Love is not a foundation for a healthy and happy relationship. What do you think about that?
that's true.
Okay, okay. Does anybody disagree? Fantastic. Thank you for that. If you guys want, you can get closer. And so we're building our relationship in this. What, by the way, question for you. What then? We're building our relationship in the modern society. This is what I would like for you to actually start being interactive. You can take either this microphone or this microphone. You can shout out, but take a microphone in this area and that one, pass it around here. What are we building relationship on in the modern? Excuse me. Oh, be careful, be careful, be careful. It's moving, moving. It's moving, moving, moving. Thank you. All right. You guys can come because this is not long enough and start shouting loud. Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you.
The question is what's
The
important.
question, what are we building relationship in the modern society? What is the foundation? So you meet a guy or you meet a woman. What are you looking for to build a relationship? So let's be honest. What is the first thing you're looking? Let's start shouting out and use the microphone so people can hear you.
Friendship, communication,
For you, friendship and communication. What, the rest? Somebody else?
respect,
Respect. Okay, Katya, what are you looking for? Uh-huh.
Понимание,
Understanding.
understanding.
Okay. More people, otherwise I feel like you're behind TV and I'm entertaining you. Come on.
Some common interests, some hobbies.
Some common
So
interests.
we can talk about something.
Okay. Eddie, before you met Eileen, what were you looking for when you were meeting a woman?
I don't really look for things.
All right. Okay, thank you. Ira?
Companionship.
Companionship. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Steve.
Steve, what were you looking for?
A friend.
A friend. Wonderful. Katya, if you can turn off the microphone. Thank you so much. Yeah, but now we will be honest. Because here you guys, I think, being really nice. All right? So people, nowadays, in the modern society, how they meet the other person is they look like, oh, she's hot. She's good looking. And that's what starts the relationship. By the way, a lot of women nowadays also look at, he's good looking. Yeah. And immediately, this is the first thing that starts the relationship. And I will tell you even more. It's not just attraction. People really also looking for what? Sexual chemistry. Let's be really honest. People are hungry. And they're looking for that because if we look at all of the magazines, movies, and music, it's all about chemistry, the sexual intensity and chemistry. And that's what people are looking for. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amongst other things, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. And that's what we're using our guidelines to build a relationship based on sexual desire. So the first stage, we're talking about six stages to the relationship. So the first stage is sexual desire. So I'll be honest with you. We will be covering now a really good chunk of this stage because 90% of the people are building relationship on exactly this stage. And by the way, that's why relationship, do you think are working or not?
not
No. Okay? So now I'm gonna be glancing through my notes because I don't wanna miss anything. I can't remember 48 pages of notes. So, and do you know why we go by this sexual desire? Because we don't need to learn. That is immediately there. You meet person, you're attracted to them, chemistry and sexual desire there. It's natural, and you start. You don't need to put effort into that. Does this make sense?
It's easy.
It's easy. Very good.
Everybody likes it easy.
And people like it easy. Very good. It's just there. We see someone, again, beautiful, sexy, hot, and we just go. And then this relationship again is based on the low chakras. You understand what I mean, right? Low chakras, right? And then we're trying to build a relationship on the low chakras that will last, and then later to have family and even kids. Do you guys get how crazy that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then we're looking at, again, our friends and our family, and the reason why their relationship or marriages didn't work, because their relationship based was on what? Low chakras. Also, do you guys get it? 90% of the people, again, base their relationship low chakras. All right, and then again, going back to the driving example. We're driving in Peachtree Street without the driver license, and we think, well, boom, accident happened. Well, since I couldn't drive on Peachtree Street, let me just now try to drive on without the driver license on Peachtree Industrial. But it's still the same thing. One relationship didn't work based on the sexual drive, and then we move to another relationship based on the sexual drive. But it's the same dilemma. Now, raise your hand and authentically share, looking back, that you built your relationship based on those lower chakras, if you feel comfortable. If not, I'm going to give you another exercise because I want you to interact. I see you guys like...
I mean, I'm guilty of that, but that's not what sustains the relationship. It's just kind of, you're weeding out the other things, like you're honing in because you feel there's chemistry. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm guilty of that, but I also take it to the next step and look for those tangible quality characteristics, and then if they're not there, you move on. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's a natural attraction between people that are harmonized in some ways.
And by the way, in those 6 stages, I will tell you how a woman first gets attracted and how a man gets attracted. And if a woman gets attracted based on lower chakras, that's a danger, by the way. Because to men, it's natural. But if a woman gets attracted by lower chakras, the relationship has no chance. So now I want to give you, find a partner sitting next to you and share 1 minute each, looking back in your marriage or your relationship, sharing, was your relationship or marriage and other relationship were based on the sexual desire, low chakras, or not? Look at it and be authentic. Share. You need to acknowledge if it was there. Otherwise, we are dancing around the elephant, okay? Two. No, husband and wife better not. Boyfriend and girlfriend better not. So move around. Exchange, okay? And share 1 minute each. People who are on a Zoom, if you can write it down, or on the YouTube live, write down your previous relationships. Were they based on the sexual desire and only sexual desire, where that was the foundation? Write it down. Remember how many partners you had, boyfriends or marriage based on the sexual desire. This is 1 to 2 minute exercise. If you're acknowledging it, you are starting to phase them. Okay? Thank you.
A few months into the relationship, and then you're finding all these things that were kind of by before, because we're prioritizing each other, but the thing that's funny is really because we were friends for 3 years before, and I never thought we would be together at first, and then so we really got to know each other, and then it was like, wait a second, I think I like you. And I think that definitely was a strong 37 years. That's right there. It's easy. But then where do you go from there? Do you have anything in common with other people? Are you able to communicate? Argue for it? I used to hear that, and then even though it kind of makes it up,
Yeah.
30 more seconds.
Because they have this high.
It's almost like a radar, right? Like if that's the first thing you notice about a person, like how hot they are, it's like, no.
Whatever, because I'll be asking more questions.
But they are still attractive.
Because you guys are not so interactive, so that's why I have to do those exercises. Катя, ты с кем делишься? Нет, все. Сарину. Они здесь вчетвером. Sarina. Katya. Together. Because she doesn't have a partner. Ta-ta-ta. Huh? Ah, I get it. I get it.
We can be three.
You can be three, but she doesn't have a partner. Figure it out. Be together, okay? Yeah, ask her. Share.
There you go. But the ones that I first friends with, and I don't get it. And I just leave them. I look at the guys. But the guys that are attracted to me, because I'm just myself. Super trusting.
Yeah.
I'm not myself. And then it doesn't.
Are we ready? 5 more seconds. All right, let's continue. All right? Thank you. Thank you for your authentic sharing. I saw that. You're opening up. You're starting to come alive, right? So, by the way, psychotherapists and neuroscientists proved that men are attracted to 80,000 women.
A day or?
Hold on, just be with it. It doesn't matter if you're tall or short, black hair, brunette, red hair, brown eyes, blue eyes, Latin, Chinese, or white. If you have tattoo, no tattoos. If you are little overweight or not overweight, it doesn't matter. Men are attracted to 80,000 women. Do you guys get it?
So,
and by the way,
so the question is,
yes.
is one guy to 80,000 or I don't.
Ask again.
Is it a guy?
A guy?
To 80,000 women
Each guy can be attracted to 80,000
in a
women.
day.
Not in a day. In general. In general, a guy can be attracted to 80. The different types. Do you get the types?
That's pretty.
Do you get it? So even if he's married, if he's in a relationship, he still likes other women.
Yeah.
He's just respectful. If he's married, he's not gonna look, oh my God, look at her breasts and butt. Do you get it? But men are attracted to 80,000 women, okay? But we have to understand that now I need help someone writing on the board. So there's two different distinctions we're gonna be covering. There is 4 levels to how. So the harmony consists of 4 levels. Maybe you can put it on this chair and take a marker behind it and write. So the 4 levels of harmony, which consists love, has 4 different levels. So we have 6 stages and 4 different levels of harmony. Clear? The first one sexual desire. Physical level, I'm sorry. But physical level means it's a sexual desire. Clear? It's a physical level. And under the physical level means that person cannot achieve a harmonious love in a relationship if it doesn't have this physical level. Clear? Second is emotional level. Emotional closeness. Now, men think emotional closeness is sex. No, this is a physical level. Clear? Third is intellectual level, where a person needs to show that they're actually intelligent and smart and have a conversation. That's how a guy and a woman says, I'm interested in him. And the fourth level is a spiritual level. So if people don't have those four levels, they don't have the harmonious feeling of love. Love consists of these four. Clear? Now, Sorina, if you can bring it so I can show people in front of the also YouTubers and Zoom. So these are the four levels of love. First one is physical. Second one, be careful, is emotional. Third is intellectual. And the fourth is spiritual. So now, don't be confused. The 6 stages that we're going through and these 4 levels of harmony of love. Now, this is going to be very important. Thank you, Serena. If you can give me the pen now and hold it. Now, do you think women fall in love through physical level?
In love? No.
Fall in love.
Maybe emotions.
No.
It's a contributing factor.
Huh?
It's a contributing factor.
So I will give you the hint. Men fall in love through that. Physical level, sexual desire. And by the way, that's normal. If you go on a blind date with a guy and you're super smart and intelligent and you can multiply 5 digits and you are the best speaker and you are a CEO of the company and he looks you unattractive, there's no way a man's gonna fall in love. Clear? Question. Through which of these levels, physical, emotional, intellectual, or spiritual, woman falls in love?
I think emotional.
Intellectual.
Intellectual is for women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Intellectual. So you go on a date and a guy is asking you questions and you analyze him. Is he intelligent? And if he's dumb, there is no way you're gonna fall for a guy, even if he looks like Brad Pitt 20 years ago, or Denzel Washington 20 years ago. No, a woman not gonna fall in love. By the way, here's the difference. Masculine women falling in love on the physical level. Clear? To them, they don't care if they're smart. Hot. 6-pack. Take it. They are behaving like men. Do you get it? So this is the first difference that I want to show you. Okay? So men go through falling in love process, physical level, sexual desire. Check mark. Second, only then a woman who fall in love through intellectual level, her goal is to get him from this level to which?
Spiritual.
Through all 4. Because a man, to them to go through all of those 4 stages, it's very hard. Men are very into instinct. They go by instincts. To them, those 4 levels to connect to emotional level and intellectual and spiritual, it's too much work. And if a woman fell in love with a guy on a physical level, she will never get through those levels either. Their relationship is doomed from the beginning. Now, this is important. Are you guys getting me or not?
Yes.
Okay. So now we'll be dancing those 6 stages and also connection to this 4, so you understand, okay? Because this is the harmony of love. You gotta have 4. If you don't have some of them, relationship is not like on the 4 legs, and the table cannot sustain. It will be wiggling, okay? All right, so moving on. So again, a woman's goal is to get a guy from the physical level to the emotional, intellectual, and spiritual level. And men are not complicated like we are, ladies. They're not. We are very complicated. Very. And we analyze them based on us thinking that they're as complicated as they are. And so then I have a question for you. How can a woman move a man from a physical level to emotional level? Take a microphone and start answering, because people gotta hear there. Let's pass around this microphone. You gotta press the first button on the top. Who wants to answer? How can you get a guy? Because without a woman, a man not gonna move through all of these 4 stages. Who wants to answer? Very good. So you guys have no idea. That's why you're here. Eddie, any idea? I see you're thinking.
Don't be physical with them.
Bingo! Yes. Yes. And why? Why not?
Because then they're forced to connect in another.
Forced or
Motivated?
motivated. Do you get it? I want you to sink that in, all right? But also, I have a question. Why a woman is so attracted to this level? Why is she attracted to his IQ and intelligence?
They want to be understood.
Be very good. What else? Portia?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, a woman have to connect with a man because we're the
Louder?
we provide for the earth.
Yeah.
So when we're out scouting men, we have to make sure that, I don't know how you can make sure, but as a woman, we have to make sure that this person can protect us and provide for us and where we're going for our future, whether it's a child or...
Speak into microphone like this, straight like this.
Oh,
It has to be a first button.
It's in party mode. It's in party mode.
okay.
First button. Party started. Party mode. It's just the first button at the top.
Change the vocals at the bottom.
Yeah, Anahita, if you can help out.
Where it says vocals, at the bottom, on one of the buttons, just hold, I think the button. I've never used it.
Okay, I'll speak louder.
Yeah, speak louder.
So, I'm saying as a woman, when I meet a man, I'm looking for, I only want to connect with the man on an intellectual level. Now, I'm learning something new here. However, I've always known that I can only connect with a man on an intellectual level before I have sex with him. And I'm saying that, I'm asserting that that's derived because I'm the mother of the earth. So, as the mother of the earth, I'm looking for and only wanting to connect with people who could propel me into the future, whether that's having kids or, you know, like just navigating the earth. I need a partner, and in order to do that, I got to connect with them.
Really good, because again, the intelligence, when a woman looks at an intelligent guy, she can already see that this is the guy who can protect her from who? Anything and her. Because we're boiling down with so much emotions. We need a guy to protect us, and if he's not intelligent, he's like, duh. in the restaurant. He is not going to be the one who will protect us from the world and us ourselves. That's why intelligence is very important. Sorina, question.
Because I'm always functioning at a
Microphone?
high intellectual and spiritual level.
Can you come to the microphone?
Okay,
People got to hear.
because I always function myself at a very high intellectual and spiritual level. For me, not to have a guy in that level, it's like I will sleep with an animal. I do not want to sleep with an animal. I want a person who is at the same level with me.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Really. Thank you, and I appreciate that. But also, you have to understand that in the modern society, this is what happens. People, by the way, I think it should be illegal for a man to watch porn and for a woman to watch melodrama, a Notebook and Pretty Woman type of movies, because she then tries to have a fantasy of a guy in a white horse or a white Mercedes gonna come and rescue me, and we're gonna meet and gonna live happily ever after. And a guy watching a porn, he wants to create this fantasy, sexual fantasy with this woman and think that's what's gonna happen. And by the way, this is so far from reality, but that's how men think actually. By the way, if you meet a guy and he looks at you for 30 seconds like this, you know that after 10 seconds he is already making love to you in 20 different positions. Because again, you know, men are very sexual. They're like that. And so porn is not helping with that. But again, let's move on. So again, for a couple to feel harmony in the relationship, they gotta go through those 4 stages. But how a woman motivates him is not by giving her cherry. Clear? That's the only way how man really is inspired to move to the next level. Okay? And women, by the way, think that they can just fall in love. The love at the first sight will happen. And she has the butterflies, and she thinks on this love and butterflies she can build a relationship. And that's why she gives in after a week or 2 or 3. And that's where the breakdowns start to happen. And by the way, if a woman gives in the first stage, which is again, what is our stage number 1? This is not this. We're going through 6 stages. What is our first stage?
Sexual desire.
Sexual desire, right? I need to write it maybe with a different color. A relationship will not get to a marriage, which is stage number 6. It will not get there. And if somehow, let's put it right here, number 1. Yeah, stage number 1, sexual desire. Very good. And sometimes women, when they meet a guy and she feels like, oh my God, he's the one, and she thinks she has all of these 4 levels, all of that is just hormones between her legs. Do you get it? Connecting? It's like, he's so awesome. No, the 4 levels are not there. She just wants him, you know. It's again goes back to the sexual desire. Gotta understand this. And so, what also happens, I want to share an allegory from Carl Jung. Carl Jung said that a woman can fall in love with even short, fat, and ugly guy. How? And this is his allegory. So there's a queen, she has an assistant, and every morning she wakes up and her assistant brushes her hair, and one day she gets this bouquet. She looks at the bouquet with the notebook, and assistant brings it to her, and she looks and she's like, what a beautiful flower. She looks at the notebook and she said, beautiful queen, have a lovely day. A gardener, let's call him John. A gardener, John. She's like, John, gardener. She looks at the window, the ugly, short, fat guy, gardener. She throws away the flowers. The next day, she wakes up, a prettier flower with a note. And it says, a beautiful queen, have even better day. and the beautiful flowers are here for you. She opens up, again, this ugly gardener. Okay, put it in the flower, put it in the corner, over there. The third day, the fourth day, on the fifth day, she's like, okay, what kind of flowers did he send me this time? A month later, she wakes up, asks assistant, so, where's my flowers? What kind of flowers did John send me? He's like, he did not send you flowers. He didn't send, opens the window and says, hey, John, where's my flowers? He looks at her and he says, well, my queen, you'll have to come down today because I have a special surprise for you. She's like, all right, I guess I have to come down. She comes down, she's like, okay, where's my flowers? He's like, well, we have to walk in the alley and I'll get you the beautiful special flowers. So as they're walking, the gardener, John, or Don Juan, however we want to call him, right, is asking her questions. So, my queen, what are your favorite flowers? And she shares. What are your favorite colors? And she shares. What do you like to do in the mornings? And she shares. And what do you like to eat for lunch? And she shares. And at the end, they come to the end of the alley and he gives her these beautiful roses. She picks it up and then they're going home, back to her castle. And he shares, asks her more questions. And what are you going to do this evening? And she shares. And what are you going to eat for dinner? And she shares. And what is your favorite horse? And what is your horse's name? And she shares. And the next morning, she looks at their assistant and she says, you know what? Today, I'm just going to go downstairs and walk in the alley with Gardener John. And 2 months later, she says, you know what, to assistant? I am not interested to meet any guys anymore because who will get me as well as a John Gardner? Do you guys get it? And John did not even talk to her. What was John doing? Asking questions and listening to her. Do you guys get it? Even John Gardner could make a queen fall in love with him, which says any guy has a chance to make any woman fall in love if he can just ask questions and listen. And by the way, that's the biggest mistake that guys make. When they go on the first date, what do they do? Yes! Yes! And do women like that? No! I'll tell you actually examples. So 9 or 10 years ago, I can't remember exactly, I had a really wealthy millionaire from Russia who called me. He was a referral, but it doesn't matter. He calls me and he says, Alisa, I was on a date with a model 2 weeks ago. I gave her my number. We had a great dinner and she did not call me. Well, he was 59, she was 28, but it never stops Russian models to date a 30 or 40-year-old man because he's almost an oligarch, multimillionaire. So he's like, I'm so smart, I'm so successful, why she's not calling me? I said, okay, slow down. Can you share with me what actually happened on the date? Step by step. And this is what he shared. He's like, well, I ordered her food, she was sitting in front of me, gorgeous, and I was looking at her, and then I start sharing with her how much timber I am closing the deal with South Koreans and Japan, and how many tons of this timber I'll be shipping, and how I take them to karaoke, and how much we were singing and partying and drinking, and how many women were entertaining us. I was telling her all about my amazing, rich life. And then I was like, oh my God, that's a problem. And I told my client, I said, no, from now on, when you're gonna go on a date, you're gonna do what? Ask questions and what? Listening. Because when a guy goes on a date and talks a lot, a girl comes home and you know what she thinks? What an idiot. Because she really wanted to talk about herself. If she's not connected to timber and how he gonna ship this timber, she's not interested. Do you guys get it? Any questions? If I would have more guys, I would ask you to do the exercise. But since we don't have that many guys, I would like for you to just share in 1 minute when you had a terrible date and what can you do, women, to give them a hint about maybe slowing down and sharing. How can you help them on this date? I want you to start figuring out. And the guys, when you share with women, just share, yeah, I've done this, and this is how the date went, okay? So, 2 minutes, go. Did you get the question? Because the date not gonna go well if a guy gonna talk about 45 minutes about his kids, ex-wife, his work, a timber, or something else. So share, please.
I mean, I guess you can't entertain it now. You're just
For people who are not used to and Zoom, if you guys can really look when you were on a date and that you were asking so many questions, and you see that it didn't work, okay? And also, what happens if you were on a date as a woman and you were listening to the guy and you were bored, and how can you shift the conversation and start sharing about yourself gently, okay? Please share. Not share, write it down, because you have no one to share with.
Acting different or something, or just make pretend that we're like maybe a coworker. I didn't like them now, a certain way. I just always used to act like they were friends and we either hit it off or we did. I think that my mother always used to say, friendship grows into love. You know, like that kind of thing. You have to be friends first before you can really, loving relationship. Plus, you have to be attracted to each other. You can't even kiss them, so forget it. You know?
How would we, if we were on a date, or rant about himself, how do you or turn it around?
Yeah? Finished?
Maybe like, oh, I see that's what like, what do you do? Like, it depends on like, I'm say, well, gosh, do you ever have any fun? Like, what do you do when you're not working? Change the conversation to something that you like to do, you know? But sometimes I want to hear about all that more. It's pictures of these things. I turn the conversation out as best I could to something that either both interested in or change it to a movie. You know, sometimes I used to have like a little list with me. It always sounds silly, but I was always on the shy side. Like my sister was a gorgeous one. I had a
One more minute.
like the shy girl, you know. She's not doing one. I feel like you better write down like a little list. Like, you know, sometimes when you got nervous, you're like, oh my gosh, then you can't think of like, what am I going to talk about? You know, I think like I was going like first, second, I don't like right here, you know. Nowadays, you use your phone. Crazy, the things you still do.
All right, let's continue. Okay? Awesome. Let's continue. All right. Now, the reason also why people add sexual intimacy in the relationship because they think, well, married people have sex, engaged people have sex, so it's part of love. So then they start a relationship and having sex because they think, well, it's part of a marriage life. We're like married, so why not? But you have to also understand, in men's mind, if you start a relationship with sexual intimacy, how do you think he looks at you?
Sexual object?
You are a sexual object because if you start a relationship on the first stage, he's not looking at you as a marriage material because he did not have a chance to develop emotional connection with you, intellectual connection, and spiritual connection, and he's not going to be even motivated to do that. And women think, well, in a married life, people have intimacy, and by the way, it's been proven to a woman when she starts having sexual intimacy because she thinks this is her future husband. When she enters the sexual intimacy, she feels like it's her future sexual husband, so she doesn't feel like she's sleeping around, or you know what I mean, right? She feels like, well, it's my future husband, that's why we're sleeping together. But in a man's mind, do you think he's thinking about she's my future wife? Not at all. By the way, 9 out of 10, it did not even cross man's mind that this could be my future wife. He even thinks like, well, she sleeps with me because she likes sex. But by the way, women give the freebies and testers thinking, well, if I'm gonna have a good sex with him, later he will marry me. If I'm gonna cook for him, he will see how amazing I am. He will marry. So she's investing in him, hoping that he will marry her. This is the biggest misconception. Men don't function this way. Yes?
This is why you have in the world so many sexual harassments, and men speaking with women and women speaking with men, and they like, no, that's not what I was doing. I was not leading you. You know, that's the mindset of that. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, and by the way, if a woman goes on a date and guy's hitting on her, she's thinking a pig.
Yeah.
If a guy doesn't hit on her, he's thinking something is wrong with him.
Can't win.
Can win, right? But you also gotta get that a woman, again, invest in him by cooking, organizing, even helping him to run a business. She sleeps with him because she has a hidden agenda of what? A future. She wants to get married. And 2 years later, she says, where is my ring? Are we getting closer to marriage? He's like, what are you talking about? It's like, yes.
But is a strong sexual connection, can that not lead to further developing the other lessons?
5% of the people who get sex in a physical level here could get married. But then it ends up in where? A divorce. And I will explain that later. Because a man, if he doesn't go through all of these emotions, when you, let's say, get immediately a raise at work of $200,000 or get a queen right away, will you appreciate her? No. In life, if we don't work hard, especially for men, if man doesn't work hard and gets easily the most beautiful woman, he loses the interest. He doesn't value her. That's why for a man, it's very important to conquer a woman, to conquer his career, to work hard to achieve something. If he doesn't do that, he doesn't value. It's everyone like that, by the way. It's our human mentality. Everything that is cheap is not valued. And that's where the relationship not gonna last. It's gonna be so bumpy, and eventually, whether it's 3 or 5 or 10 years, it's gonna end up in a divorce. Do you get it? And this is a very modern society where like people are like rabbits, cats, and dogs. Let's get in bed. Do you guys get it?
Yeah.
Everything is built on sexuality. Okay, Portia, 1 minute.
Yeah, I have an experience in life where with men,
Uh-huh.
men have to win.
Yes.
They have to feel like they won.
Yes.
Or achieving something.
Yes.
And that's how they connect.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know
Yes.
if that's related
Yes.
to, but that's nice.
Absolutely. Not now. We have very quick, 1
I
second.
just have a question.
Yes.
So, can you say, because a guy is insecure, that's why he actually feels he has to always conquer?
Yes.
No. It's not about insecurity here.
DNA.
Huh?
That's nature.
That's nature, exactly. He wants to win. He wants to work hard. If he has 2 women, one he needs to really conquer 6 to 8 months. It's like, wow, what a challenging woman. He gonna value her when he gonna conquer her. This one in 1-2 weeks, easy, just for sex. That's how their brain works. Easy woman is not a relationship and marriage material. And by the way, going back to the example, so she's investing cooking and organizing, helping him with business, sleeps with him, and then 2 years later, she's like, so we're getting closer to marriage or engagement? And he looks at her, he's like, what? What marriage are you talking about? Well, I had sex with you, I cooked, I helped you with business, I was living with you, I was doing laundry. It's like, I thought you liked it, and I told you thank you. That's how they think, because if you cook for him on the first meal, he's like, wow, so delicious, amazing, thank you. On the second day, you cook him a burger and a salad, he's like, oh, thank you, honey. On the third, you don't cook burger and salad, he's like, where's my burger? Where's my salad? They really think that you like to have sex, you like to cook, you like to help him with business, but because you're this kind. It never crosses their mind that you're investing because you want to get married. Clear? And again, it's like the same thing. You had sex with him in the first 2-3 weeks, and then he thinks of you like he's going to Dunkin' Donuts and he's getting donut for $1. And you're going to Dunkin' Donuts, he's going to Dunkin' Donuts, and they tell him filet mignon $120. He's like, I don't want a filet mignon for $120. If I want a filet for $120, I'll go to Ritz-Carlton. So a woman who is not ready and available in a week or 2, he looks at Ritz-Carlton. And that's where he gets filet mignon. And if you're giving him in a week or 2, you're Dunkin' Donuts, and he wants to pay for just $1. And that's why he doesn't want to get married. That's how simple it is. Clear?
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
So,
Microphone? Right here. Come here, Anahita. Because that one is in a party time mode.
So my boyfriend, we've been together almost a year, but he shared with me that him and his friends, so he just turned 37, so he's talking about his kind of age group of friends, modern day dating for them. They meet women and they categorize them into categories: fun girl or potential future. So just sharing that with you girls, because that was like, when he shared that with me, I was like, oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So you meet a woman and instantly you can tell whether she's just a fun girl, you know, she's great for right now, or I'm investing in this one. So
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Anahita. Turn the microphone and let's move on. Any questions about that? All right. And by the way, when you get married, the first thing that goes away is the sexual drive. It is true, right? Because the sexual chemistry and desire on the average lasts 7 to 8 months. The minimum of 3 months, the maximum 3 years. So the average is 7-8 months. And so if a man did not go through the physical level to emotional level, and you have then, because on the emotional level, that's when he starts to feel that he trusts you, he feels like he's connecting to you. And if he never got to this point, what do you have then? You use each other then for sex, or you use each other for paying bills, you're using him for that, but there's no foundation. He's really not interested. That's why this cannot be the foundation of the relationship. Is that clear? Very good. Moving on. And by the way, forgot to mention, on the spiritual level, that's when a man fully sees that you are the woman for life. Not here, not here, not here, only on here. And by the way, the spiritual level, when do you think it happens time-wise?
Years.
Well, Vedas do say it happens after 5 years. 5. But psychologists also say that this starts to happen after 10 months. It starts. In full development, it happens in 5 years. So by that time, everybody's already gone through divorce.
Right.
Wow, that's sad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Women see the man the same way in spiritual level, so she
Yes,
sees
by the
man-
way, emotional level and spiritual level happens at the same level, but physical and intellectual, that's where we are not going through the same harmony together, which I will talk about it. Thank you. So again, men start relationship with a sexual harmony, which is a physical level. A lot of women now are in a masculine energy, again, do the same thing. Feminine women start relationship in the intellectual level. And then both, after physical level, man moves to emotional level, and a woman, after the intellectual level, goes to emotional level as well. That's where they meet. And a woman goes to the third level. Only on the third level, she actually starts to have a real sexual desire to him. After he's smart, emotional, she starts to fall in love on the second level. On the third level only, she starts to have this real sexual desire, which is the physical level. It's very reverse, how men and women fall in love. Clear? Mm-hmm. Question to men. Imagine you went on a blind date and you were sitting in front of a very unattractive lady. Would you ever be attracted to her? Just want to again double check. Again, no, because man goes by the eyes, sexual desire. Clear? Okay. And by the way, if you're sitting in front of a gorgeous model, for men question, and she's dumb, would you still be attracted to her?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, even better, because she will be easy to get to bed. Men actually like it because to them, intellectual level is important. At which level? 3. So they don't even care for the next 3 to 4, 5 months if she has brains. They don't care. She's pretty. Yes, that's how different we are. For women. I actually went over that. So let me go move on. Another thing, when a woman meets a guy who is younger than her and tells her, oh my God, I am so in love, you're the best woman, let's go traveling together, I see you as my queen and whatever. He's actually under her spell because he's really attracted by her beauty and etc. Young men in their 20s, when they haven't fully established themselves, don't even think about serious relationship. Because I've seen sometimes women, they're in 30s and they start dating men in their 20s and they think something serious is gonna come up out of that. When men in Europe, they mature much faster. Life in the United States is very easy for guys. They're not conquering things, they just live. And so in a typical man's guy, if he's in the 20s, he doesn't even think 9 out of 10 about serious relationship. Even though he tells her all his dreams, how they can gonna get married and have a honeymoon and stuff. He can say anything because he's under the spell. He wants to have a woman, okay? Even though that's not the case here, but I see that a lot of people who are in their 20s are also in the Zoom. So I wanted to share that. Any questions? Because I feel like you're again behind the TV. Come back. By the way, one other thing. Everybody in a relationship, not in a relationship, when people are dating, they're trying to find someone perfect. someone perfect, that they're emotionally healthy, they're smart, or they're sexy for men and smart for men, for women. And it's almost as a really big fantasy. People are not really connecting to who people really are, because we're again trying to fit our illusion. For men, it's a sexual fantasy. For a woman, it's a man from a notebook or Pretty Woman. And we're trying to meet this guy that we don't even know in the first 2 weeks, or a woman in the first 2 weeks, into that illusion and fantasy. That's how much people in the first page are not in the reality. If you give them a pen and a paper to write down, what do you want from this person? They say, I don't know. But they wanted to fit them into this picture. A woman wants a house in Buckhead and have kids later on, and she'll still try to fit this guy into this fantasy. And the guy will try to fit into the fantasy how many sexual positions he can have in bed with her. That's what happens in the brain first few weeks when people meet. That's how absurd it is. But people are already trying to build a relationship on top of that. Really absurd. You guys are very puzzled. You're looking at many questions. But does it make sense?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes. Very quick. We have a lot of things to
How
cover.
do you bridge that gap though? Like, when I meet guys, or I meet, when I meet guys, I'm a whole lot different.
You cannot meet guys because you're with a guy. I'm not
No.
allowing this question. No. We cannot even go there. We're not gonna
Yeah,
go
but
there.
not in the way you're thinking.
I get it,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's why we're here.
Okay.
Whatever that you have a question, I can already see 2 steps behind into how to overcome that by knowing the stages. You guys need to know on which stage you are in. And if you're giving your cherry, everything will fall. Like the cards you're trying to build on top of each other. You cannot have a relationship on that. Yeah? Okay. We need to have right now 10 to 15 minute break. And then we will continue. It's 11:30. Awesome. I'm really proud of
We
you.
are taking a picture. Okay, everybody goes there, we are taking a picture.
All right.
Before the break.
Alisa,
Yeah.
escuta um segundo.
Chess.
Chess, depois de 20 grande.